Hello and welcome to round number 3 of the Go Race Promotions Simsports Super GT League. We are here at the Highlands Motorsport circuit in New Zealand. We are set to go racing as our drivers continue to do their warm-up and final practice before we head into qualifying. What a night we've got lined up for you. Some of the best drivers that the Simsports League has got all taken to the track tonight. A couple of new faces as well, which is always great to see. We'll quickly do a run around of those guys in a few seconds. We're still currently just sharing our stream around to the various social media platforms, just to hopefully welcome as many of you as humanly possible to the stream, and hopefully get more of you into our league as quickly as possible. As I learn how to type, it'll be even better. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the new faces in the league currently on track. We have Nick 22P STI making his debut in the Sumo Power number 22 Nissan GTR. As Nick, he hasn't really given us any information about himself, but he certainly seems like a very keen driver, very keen sim racer. It didn't take him long to join the Discord, and he was signed up to the Super GT League. So welcome to the league, Nick. Hope you have a great time tonight. And another driver that we also have to welcome is this guy here, as there goes Benny McKenzie off the track. It's Superstar Q76 in the BMW M6, running in the AM class. He has given us quite a breakdown of his racing career, thankfully. So, real life Carter, running in Speedway. He ran 5th at the KT Standards in the National Championships back in 2009. Moved to compact speed cars in between 2013 and 2015. Rookie of the Year 2013, 5th in overall club points. Went Speedway sedan, racing a couple of wins, handful of races back in the kart. Now retired from real racing due to an ankle injury, but he has now found his home in sim racing. Started in 2008 on R Factor, 3 times KDSR team's stock car champion, 1-time KDSR NASCAR championship title, raced until 2013, returned to sim racing 2017 part-time, mostly iRacing, joined Assetto Corsa in 2020, running in multiple leagues, and he now finds himself joined with the Go Race Promotions Simsports Super GT League. So welcome to Superstar. He's also signed up for our TCX 300 event, which is coming up very, very soon. Running out of time to sign up for that one. Of course, TCX 300, big experimental event with Go Race Promotions. We're running at GT3 V8 supercars and TCR. Superstar currently signed up in a TCR, one of the only TCR entries on the grid, but hopefully we get a few more drivers signed up for the event. Now, we're going to have a quick breakdown of the championship points as well. Let me just bring up our point score. So we're going to look at GT 500. He's not currently in the server that we can see. And anyway, on top is Chris Rafalo in the number 20 Nissan GTR GT 500. Fortunately, not on track at the moment. One driver who's also not on track is Ben McKenzie. We'll come back to him a little bit later. Still trying to find driver who's on track. Who's on track? Nick. He'll do. He'll also take us for a ride around the circuit while we go through the rest of the championship points. So Chris Rafalo, he is on maximum points, 70 points after pole position at round 1 and round 2, and winning round 1 and 2 at Fuji Speedway and Albert Park in Melbourne. He's also carrying 50 kilos of success ballast. But he has got a commanding lead already. It's almost looking a bit like deja vu, really, for Chris Rafalo. He's got a massive lead over his friend Alfonso in the Honda HSV 010 GT. Alfonso had an absolute disastrous round at round number 2, and he fell down. Well, he managed to hold on to second, but he dropped a lot of points to Chris Ruffalo. He sits on 35 points, and he's carrying 33 kilos of success ballast. Moving on, we have Jack Meredith. He's in third. Not sure if he's going to make tonight's race. Hopefully he does. If not, doesn't really matter, really. But if he doesn't make it, well, Jack, we're going to miss you on track, as unfortunately Nick goes and bins it on us. So we'll quickly join with Superstar as he continues around the circuit. Currently in 4th position in GT 500 is Van der Hummer. Impressive debut from him in round number 2. Saw him almost clinch pole position. He missed out by 0.071 of a second to Chris Ruffalo. And then a great battle with Riley Smith. Saw him take out second. He sits on 25 points, just 4 points, sorry, behind Jack Meredith. He's also carrying 20 kilos of success ballast. Riley Smith brings up 5th position. He had a great battle with Van der Hum, taking 2nd place in the first corner in a very ambitious move around the outside. Brilliant drive from Riley. He wasn't able to hold on to second and finished 3rd. He's currently carrying 16 kilos of success ballast. And then we have Josh Hill, one of our debutants. He's on 12 points after a great debut at last round. And Nick, 22 BSTI. Obviously, brand new to the series. He has 0 points. But I don't expect him to stay on 0 points, given where he's sitting at the moment. Currently 2nd overall and just 0.6 of a second off of Alfonso. So great job from Nick. Moving on to GT3, we have got Matt Southwell in the Bentley. Not sure how he's going to go tonight. I've just been informed over the Discord that he has all of about 3 laps of this track in his entire career, so he is not feeling very confident tonight. But, well, we have heard this from him before. He never feels confident. He goes out and beats everyone. But anyway, he is leading the championship on 52 points, carrying 45 kilos of success ballast. He currently leads Justin Rediex in the Porsche. He's also currently struggling a little bit down there in 6th overall. As we're being told in the chat, Benny McKenzie, he has all of 2 laps. So, well, Matt Southwell's doing better than Ben McKenzie. But anyway, hopefully these guys learn the track pretty quickly and they have a bit of fun tonight. Justin Reddick's currently sitting 2nd. He heads off Steve Duro. Now, Steve, unfortunately, even though he finished 2nd at Fuji, because he swapped out of the Dodge Viper and back to his trusty AMG, he unfortunately sacrificed all his points to do that. He currently sits 3rd, but boy, he is looking really dominant already in this practice session. He's got a 4-second advantage over the next car in this session. So I do expect Steve Duro to probably hang on to that lead as we head into the race. But Steve is currently carrying 25 kilos of success ballast. Ben McKenzie, who we're hearing from in chat, he is tied on 14 points with Ryan Ford in the Corvette. Both those guys on 14 points. However, Ben, because he had a much better, I believe he had a much better race than qualifying, he's actually carrying 2 kilos of success ballast more than Ryan Ford. As we see, unfortunately, Superstar bin it into the fence. Let's have a look at Alfonso. Currently on top of the session. And then tied on 5th, we have Dane Licciardo and Superstar Q76, of course. Superstar making his debut tonight. Shout out to our recent followers, Nick Tyler and Lassatuza04 for the follows. Thank you very much. Actually, sorry, Lassatuza was a host. Never mind. Disregard. We don't need to do that. I think we covered that last time. That was on Sunday night when we were broadcasting the AK Racing V8 Supercars. So we're now seeing times start to drop as Nick 22 BSTI actually goes to the top in the Nissan GTR, the Sumo Power car. So good to see a debutant taking it up to the more experienced drivers like Alfonso. But this track is going to be a very tough track for these drivers. 175 Ks of racing they're going to be doing tonight, as Nick's actually going to jump back to the pit lane. We're going to quickly jump over to Steve Juros. He is going to perfectly, well, almost perfectly demonstrate the difference between GT3 and GT500. So I'm actually going to quickly jump into free cam and have a look at some of the more crucial parts of this circuit. The first one, oh my God, I still cannot control this damn camera. The first part that all these drivers are really going to struggle with is the final corner here. It's a reasonably fast corner. You think you can carry more speed. There's not a lot of runoff. Have a look at the proximity of that concrete wall, and it is very hard. You saw some witness marks on the side of Steve Juro's AMG, so he has already found that wall today. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot more cars with a bit of damage on their car as the night progresses. We're going to quickly do a quick 180, and we're going to head to the first challenge that our drivers are going to face, which is this little bus stop here. It is almost flat out. Oh my God, what's going on with the camera? There we go, fixed it. Fixed it, false alarm. So the bus stop here, almost flat out in most of these GT cars. GT3, you're braking pretty hard just to get the mechanical grip. There goes the camera again. Good stuff. I wish I knew why this is... There we go. That's weird. But, well, we're going to get a perfect demonstration here of how to take this corner. Thanks to Alfonso, straight over the curbs. Abuse the curbs, but don't abuse them too much because, again, not a lot of room, not a lot of runoff as we head into this right-hander that just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But seriously, have a look at how long this corner is. This is going to be... Oh, God, this is frustrating. What the... hang on a second. Let's just reset that, and we'll try again. Oh, boy. Joys of broadcasting sim racing. So just have a look at how long this corner is. So we're about halfway around. This is where it ends. And it just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. That left-hand front tyre is going to be copping an absolute thrashing tonight. And all these drivers on soft compound tyres. So they're really going to have to think about their tyre wear heading into tonight's race. Next part is this little bus stop. Really, this track is just full of highlights and full of just so much technical difficulties for all our drivers. And that leads us to this fancy little bridge here. One of the, of course, very Suzuka-esque, that bridge. We're pretty well flat out from there on to this little, almost long bus stop, really. And, oh my God, there we go, fixed it. This left-hander is a lot... Okay, so that's the yield. Got it. That is a lot tighter than what you might think it is. You think you can carry more speed, you can't. But it does open up, and it does give you a good run to this nice little curb here. We're going to see great curb action here, that's for sure. Into this very tight hairpin. We're going to see some passing moves here. Expect some dive bomb, expect some mistakes here. This track really is going to test our drivers tonight. Okay, we've got this little chicane here. Thankfully, that should slow our drivers down enough because we're coming up to this bridge here. I haven't actually seen any of the GT500s going over this bridge, but I think there was a little bit of concern of some airborne action from our GT500 cars. They are so fast. These are Super GT cars. But straight after that bridge, straight after this crest, you hard on the brakes, knock it back maybe 2-3 gears for this very tight, well, reasonably tight left-hander before we get onto this right-hand hairpin right on time. Just as I leave the bridge, here comes Alfonso in the Honda. And then that really leads us up to the final corner, and that completes a lap. So I'd say we're just about ready to jump into qualifying. our race director did say he was going to do driver's briefing around the 7 o'clock mark, and as you can see, we are actually at 7:05. So I'd say we are just about ready to jump into qualifying. We're going to try and find a camera angle that we do like for this. Oh God, there we go. That'll do. How's the howl of these Hondas? Of course, Alfonso not the only one running around in a Honda. We have got Vanderham racing in the Honda as well. Currently in pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, he's still in pit lane. Chris Rafalo, there he is, the championship leader. He has joined the server. So, expecting good things from him tonight. Expecting great racing up and down our GT3 and GT500 field. I think we're still waiting on a few GT3 competitors to turn up, but nonetheless, we are almost set to get into qualifying. Let's have a quick jump back to the pits and bring up what our schedule is looking like tonight. So we've got a qualifying session of 20 minutes. That is 10 minutes for both GT500 and GT3. They get the track to themselves. That way we have very little traffic issues. And then we move on to a 175 kilometre race, 44 laps around the Highlands Motorsport circuit. Of course, the first lap, that is the rolling start, which will be controlled by our race director. And that is always going to be something very exciting to see. Let us know in the chat where you are joining us from. It's a huge bit of pride for us to know how far we are reaching with our streams. And while we're waiting for the action to actually get started, let's do a little bit of promotion here and get the link to our Discord up in chat. So let me just do a quick bit of typing. There you go, there's our Discord. Make sure you join up. Of course, these races are great fun. It's a really good community as well. Everyone does try and look out for each other as best they can. Honestly, everyone just seems to have a bit of fun as well, which is great. So we have 9 drivers currently in the server. Sorry, make that 10. Yep, 10 drivers in the server ready to go racing. Still have not seen Riley Smith, haven't seen Ryan Ford, but I'm sure we might see them later on, never know. Currently, unfortunately, we have no action on the track at the moment. Every single driver in pit lane. I'm going to go for a quick fly. Let's go for a quick fly around this track. We haven't actually done this. We've just got to fly around, have a look at this model. Although someone's revving. No one's moving though. That's a shame. So as you can see, no crowds. So obviously the social distancing is still in place over in New Zealand. Oh, we have someone moving, do we? No, unfortunately no one's moving. So, still no crowds. Oh, there's a house there. Someone wants to live here. Good times. Ah, there we go. There's the threshold again. Not a a bad little mod. If you want to get this mod yourself, you can actually jump onto Race Department. I believe that's where we've got this mod from. And yeah, have a go at this circuit. It is an amazing facility. As there goes Chris Ruffalo and Van der Ham and Josh Hill. We are into qualifying now. Oh, there goes Van der Ham. He's way off the track there. Anyway, Chris Ruffalo out in front straight away, as is his usual tactic. Now, of course, these guys, as in real life with the real life Super GTs, no tyre warmers. So they got to keep in mind their freezing cold tyres on these first couple of laps. Thankfully, though, it is a fairly long lap, 4Ks this circuit. So plenty of time to get the tyres up to temperature, as we see Chris employing a bit of a strange way to warm up the rear tyres. Usually doesn't work too well. Of course, if you are interested in the Super GT mod, head over to Shiva's Auto Art. This guy has been working so hard on the mod, and it's absolutely great fun to use. Actually, a couple of nights ago, just for a bit of fun, I actually grabbed one of these GT 500 cars and took it around Mount Panorama. Got down to a 1:51. So they get up and go. And I actually think there's about a 49 in these cars. So as we continue to watch Chris Ruffalo as he launches it over the curb. He's just getting wound up. The number 20 Penzorn GTR. Current championship leader, currently with, I believe it was 50 kilos of ballast on this car. So he'll be starting to feel a little bit of discomfort with it. As, of course, 50 kilos, that's almost another passenger in the car. Well, he just glances at the wall. That will hurt him a little bit coming onto the main straight up towards the first bus stop. Does he have a lift? Has a little lift. Have a look at how long this corner goes. Just goes on forever and ever. The trick is just trying to pick when to grab the throttle again. As he heads up towards the first little bus stop. Nice use of the curbs. Runs a little bit wide, misses the apex. Won't worry him too much. He's certainly on a flying lap at the moment. Now jump inside the car, looking over his left shoulder. And heads up to this rather elongated bus stop. Watching the wheel spin. Very hard to get these cars off the slower corners because of the turbo. There is a bit of a slight turbo lag, and then they just absolutely give you everything, and very easy to spin up the rear wheels and find yourself facing the other direction. Now into this quick little left, right, and over the bridge. Happy to see that no one's getting airborne over the bridge just yet. Oh, big bounce of wheel spin through the slow left-hander, now into the hairpin. How's the drive for Ruffalo? Well, he uses second. He's trying to restrict the wheel spin as much as he can. No traction control in these GT 500s. Grabs a lot of curb. Oh, understeers into the fence. He'll do a 1:41.2. That's a good benchmark. But I do believe that Nick 22 here, he did a much quicker time in practice. He's currently being balked a little bit by Van der Ham in the green Honda. So have to wait and see what Nick can do on the next lap. So Josh Hill now up into second, 2.5 seconds off the pace of Ruffalo. Nick set to 1:46.2. Don't expect that time to stay like that. In fact, even after slowing down, it's only 5 seconds. So currently following Josh Hill, the only Lexus driver in the field at the moment. He's running this gorgeous looking Zent livery. Don't know how Shivers have managed to do it, but they managed to make that paint look somewhat chrome and metallic-y. Definitely got to get that on some of my own liveries for races. Of course, Josh Hill, one of the new faces in the Go Race Promotions Discord. As he makes his way around the elongated bus stop. Don't even know what that corner is actually called. Oh, he gets it wide. just almost falls victim to the dreaded wheel spin from GT500s. Short shifts it up to second as he now heads up towards this dropping chicane. Takes it nice and cautiously. In fact, he's buttoning out of this. So this is a rather smooth lap for Hill. Not sure if this will be an improvement. He did have that massive slide coming out of the elongated bus stop. Keeps that Lexus far off the wall. It's not an improvement. Doesn't go up. And now Nick goes to the top in the number 22 GTR. A great lap from Nick 22. Can Rafalo respond? So already Rafalo under pressure in these last two rounds from brand new faces in the Discord as Alfonso goes a 141.1. That is pretty close to Rafalo's time as well. So once again, as we've seen in the past, these two are absolutely inseparable. We saw that in the British Touring Cars Championship from AK Racing. Both Rafalo and Alfonso were absolutely inseparable on the times. As our GT500 drivers, they got... Oh no, out of round goes Alfonso. I think he just grabbed that curb on the inside. That has unsettled the car. You've just got to be so gentle on the throttle. So talking about 700 horsepower going through the rear wheels of these GT500s. It is quite a bit to hang on to, really. I'm currently watching swap over to Vanderham. He was certainly a surprise at Albert Park. Put in a fantastic time in qualifying. He missed out on pole position by only a few thousandths of a second. That's how tight it was between Vanderham and Rafalo. Currently, he hasn't set a time according to our leaderboard on the left-hand side. But he manages to get the car rotated. Does he get the drive? He does. Into this, it is actually a very tricky setup of corners. So you want to try and carry as much pace through that right-hander, but then you've got to slow the car down while turning for the hairpin. It's not always easy to do. So I'm pretty sure that Vanderham will not have his lap time counted this time after going off the circuit at the hairpin, and he definitely won't get it allowed this time. So all four wheels off the track, that is track limits. That disqualifies your time. So Vanderham will have to try again. In fact, I think actually looking at that lap time, I'd say that was his out lap. So here comes Vanderham winding up for another go in the number 37 Honda. Goes deep into the bus stop. Gets every single curb nicely though. Honda's really riding the curbs nicely through the first bus stop. Jump on board now with him. Up to the fish hook. Almost the triple fish hook. Gets the curbs nicely. Oh, he runs that left-hand curb a bit too much. Unlike Alfonso, he doesn't loop it though, so you heard him short shift up to third. Back down to second through this bank left-hander. Watch the wheel spin again as the cars get light over that little crest. Now into the elongated bus stop. In fact, our Vanderham's actually going to abandon that lap, so Vanderham, he's going to be starting out of 5th for GT500. So, I'm not sure if there's anyone else on track. Well, Rafalo's actually on track. He's managing to get one last lap in. This is the last roll of the dice for Rafalo. He's had a perfect record so far. Right now, Nick 22 is upsetting that record. In fact, Nick improves a 40.5. Fantastic lap from Nick, and he's going to go again. He's managed to get another lap in. So this time could actually drop down even further. And Rafalo, he's definitely up against it tonight. I'm not sure how much time Rafalo actually got on the circuit. It does look like as if he's just struggling with a bit of setup problems. Or maybe that 50 kilos of success ballast is actually doing its job and slowing him down. Of course, got to remember that Nick does not have any ballast, and Rafalo drops it off the track through the dip in the circuit. As we start seeing our GT3 drivers start making their way onto the circuit. So, wait and see. Actually, we'll try and find where Josh Hill is in the Lexus. He's just coming around the elongated bus stop. He's 3 seconds off the pace of Nick 22. In fact, Nick 22 almost at the end of his lap. As we jump on board with Josh. Takes a much more cautious approach, runs it a bit wide. Manages to keep it around. In fact, he's he's still on it. Thank you for the follow, Blitz, on Twitch TV. Much appreciated, mate. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. And so Josh Hill is the last driver to get his lap in. In fact, he's gonna abort the lap. So Josh Hill will start out of 4th position, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's have a look at our GT3 drivers. They're currently on track. Steve Duro is the first one on circuit in the number 9 AMG, currently 3rd in the championship, only carrying 25 kilos of ballast. That is a magnificent looking AMG as well. The 2020 mod. It's a bit of an extension on the Kunos content. He makes his way through the final corner and gets ready to start his first lap. So the times we're expecting to see from GT3 in the mid to low 50s. You can see that GT3 is having to slow down a little bit more for the bus stop. And it's all about patience on the throttle, patience on the steering wheel, trying to pick when to go for that late apex. Run it as far wide as you possibly can. Avoid that wall on the left-hand side though. It's all about looking after that front left tyre in the race as well. So we see the GT3s are a little bit more forgiving on the curbs than what the GT500s are. So we saw that Steve Duro was able to monster those curbs through that little fish hook. And through the banked left-hander over the crest. Great drive from the AMG. And now into the elongated bus stop. Runs a little wide, grabs a little bit of gravel. Shouldn't slow him down too much. Gets the car rotated nicely. And then slows it down for this hairpin. As you can see, the GT3 cars once again able to monster the curbs a little bit more than what the GT500s are. Right behind Duro is Matt Southwell, the current championship leader. Wait and see what time he can get on the board. Manages to pull the car up for the right-hander after the bridge. And now into this downhill hairpin. Oh, he was so late on the brakes. I think he may have missed the apex a little bit, but he just grabs a little bit too much curb. That pushes him a little bit wide, and he stops the clock at 1:53.5. So Duro sets the benchmark. Wait and see where. Wrong silver. There we go. Matt Southwell. He goes up 56.3. So 2 seconds the gap between Duro and Southwell. In fact, Ryan Ford in the Corvette, one of the AM drivers, certainly punching above his weight. 6/10 down on Steve Duro's time. Wait and see if Justin Rediex can do anything to pop himself onto the front row. Now, of course, there are points on offer in this session. 10 points for first, 5 points for second, 3 points for third, 2 points for fourth, and fifth gets 1 point. So this session does matter for our drivers, particularly our championship players. As Rediex not as confident through the final corner. He sets a That was an outlap, I would imagine. It'd have to be an outlap for sure. So, you know, as we see, Ben McKenzie is still struggling to learn the track a bit, I think, as we saw in chat a couple of hours ago. Oh, he's gone around. He's been bitten by the Porsche. But all the weight in the rear. Car does not like that. And he's going to get out of the way of Southwell. Going to quickly touch base with Superstar. The only BMW in the field at the moment. Of course, don't forget, if you're keen to join this this league, come and join our Discord. Make sure you join the Discord. Get in on the action. Get out of the chat and onto the track as Superstar runs wide. He'll get another few laps in, but that certainly doesn't help help the driver psychologically when he makes a mistake like that. And you can see that clock ticking down. We'll wait and see. Oh, Southwell, he clips the wall big time coming through the final corner. Stays third. This is going to help his championship. But, we had a couple of people wondering why Southwell is a silver driver instead of a pro. Well, this is why. He doesn't get a lot of time to practice. Cut his first laps tonight. So that's how little time Southwell gets to practice for these races. Hence why he is a silver driver. So in case you are new to the Super GT League here, we have got 3 classes within GT3. We have got Pro, we have got AM, and we have got Silver. As ReadyX moves up to 3rd in GT3, so Southwell's got a bit of a fight on at the moment. He's just struggling to get the drive down out of that bank left-hander. Anyway, so the breakdown of our classes are as follows. So for Pro, these are the guys like Steve Juro. These are the established sim racers. They are the best around. We saw them in AK Racing in their GT3 league. They are the benchmark, the absolute benchmark in sim racing. We have the Silvers, drivers who are relatively experienced in sim racing or maybe real life racing, but they just don't have the time to get themselves onto pace consistently with the pro drivers. So we put them in Silver, and they get to have a bit of a run against themselves. And then last but definitely not least are our AM drivers. These are drivers who are brand new to sim racing. Never sat behind the steering wheel before, or maybe they only sat behind the steering wheel a few times. But, or maybe it's their first time on a Assetto Corsa. Either way, they haven't got much experience, so they get put into the AM class. Ryan Ford currently punching well above his weight in the number 31 Corvette. Magnificent looking car, magnificent sound as well. Run on board with him. Heads up towards the fishhook chicane. Really grabs every single inch of curb there. He's chasing 6/10 as Superstar goes up to 4th. That displaces Matt Southwell down to the very back of the GT3 field and the very back of the field. But it's actually put him out of the points for qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. No, I can't count. He's still in the points. In fact, he should remain in the points for the rest of the session. But only grabbing 1 point, that is not going to help his lead. Currently 52 points versus 39 points from Justin ReadyX. We've just got a couple of messages from our race director that it's going to be a very tight race. We're also getting messages that that Superstar is currently racing in 30 degrees of heat. So what a way to start his first long race. Of course, 175 kilometres. That is a long way to go. So we currently tick down the last 30 seconds of this session. At the moment, it is Steve Juro on top. We'll wait and see if Ryan Ford can topple him in the Corvette. Ford only carrying about 11 kilos of success ballast. We're also waiting. There we go. So Ford goes to the top of 53.4. That puts him a 10th ahead of Steve Duro. However, Steve Duro is still on track. He is not able to improve, and that's the checkered flag for Duro. So Duro knocked off the top step in qualifying. Ryan Ford, the AM, gets the Corvette onto pole position. Wait and see what Superstar can do across the finish line. And he stops the clock. It's not an improvement, so he will remain in 4th position. Just try and find... I believe we have lost Ben McKenzie, unfortunately. Not seeing him on Stereo Car Cell. In fact, we might be able to get rid of that. So there you have it. That is the end of qualifying. We'll try and reposition this camera. Hopefully we don't stuff the view up. So, yes, it doesn't look like as if Ben McKenzie is still in the service. That's really unfortunate. Let's head back to the overview screen. So there it is, your qualifying results. So Nick 22 on the top of qualifying. He manages to beat Chris Rafalo. However, you might be thinking that that's just raw outright pace, but have a look at the BOP. 0 kilograms of success ballast versus 50 kilos of success ballast. That is a huge difference between Rafalo and Nick. But Rafalo will be happy to start off the front row. He's still got a chance to win, of course, the rolling start. Good chance for drivers to make up good positions. Alfonso will start out of 3rd position. Next to him will be Joshua Hill. And then rounding out the GT500s will be Vanderham in the number 37 Honda, a 151 from Vanderham. That doesn't sound right. I'd say he's just had too many track cuts and wasn't able to put in a good time. Oh, look at that. So Steve Duro managed to do a bit of a snipe there. He has actually just taken pole position from Ryan Ford. I thought he got the checkered flag, but it was still on a lap. So there you go, Steve Duro. He just snipes Ryan Ford at the right time. We were just about to get started on GT3 qualifying results. So Steve Duro on top with a 153.3. He just pips Ryan Ford with a 153.4. So Steve Duro and Ryan Ford will make up the front row of the GT3 field. Then we have Justin Rediex, begging your pardon, starting off of 3rd position. Next to him will be Superstar Q76, and then Matt Southwell out of 5th position. And then Ben McKenzie, who has actually just rejoined the server, he will be off the very back of the field. So 6 drivers in GT3, 5 drivers in GT500. We're about set to go racing. 1 minute to go. Let's have some quick predictions as we reposition our camera. Honestly, looking at the times for GT500 and considering the balance of performance, it will be hard to go past Nick 22. Just 50 kilos lighter, it will look after the front tyres a little bit better through that extremely long turn number, if I can get my counting right, turn 6. That right-hander that just goes on forever, it will load up that left-hand front tyre and will really punish it. So, honestly, Nick will have a bit of an advantage there, but never discount Chris Rafalo. Only a fool would actually count Chris Rafalo out this early in a race night. And, of course, got to remember that Alfonso is in there as well. He's certainly on the pace, so he might be able to throw a spanner in the works for both Nick 22 and Chris Rafalo. But GT3, it's going to be a very, very, very tight race between Steve Duro and the rest of the GT3 field. In fact, I'll just bring up the lap times again. So let's have a look at the qualifying times first up. So Rediex got down to a 54.8. He's currently carrying 32 kilos of ballast as well. Matt Southwell, he's struggling tonight. Again, only did 1 or 2 laps of practice before tonight's race. So, and he's also carrying 45 kilos of ballast. That is a lot of weight to carry as we get set for the field to make their way onto their warm-up lap. So we'll quickly just, all our lights are on lights are out. Away goes the field on their warm-up lap. So we'll quickly join the track now as, Chris Ruffalo is in pit lane for some reason. That's very odd. So Chris Ruffalo starting from pit lane for some reason. It's very interesting. I'm sure he'll get onto the track in time. It is a very long lap here. He should be able to regain his position of second on the track. So I'm not really overly concerned. I'm sure he was just a little bit slow. In fact, he is on track now, so let's bring him up there. There he goes. Maybe this is a bit of strategy just to try and get the tyres all warmed up while he tries to catch the rest of the field. Reminder that these guys do not have tyre warmers. So that's something else that needs to be considered in this 175k race. They do have a mandatory pit stop. They're going to go from very warm tyres to stone cold tyres. So that is something that the more disciplined drivers will be able to adapt to. As Nick 22's done the sportsmanship thing and has actually backed the field right up while they wait for Chris Ruffalo to come through. The GT3 guys will see the yellow blur that is Chris Ruffalo coming up on the back of them to regain his position. As you can see, there he goes, straight around the outside of everyone. So now Nick 22 can crack on and start working on those tyres. He haven't really seen him do any weaving. No, he's obviously very confident with his car. Maybe he prefers having cold tyres on his car. Oh, there we go. He's actually weaving now, so I'll just shut up then. Well, we're getting set for a start. We can see that GT500 and the GT3 fields are starting to separate. A little bit of a gap will be formed between the two classes, as we currently followed Nick 22 on his way around to the number 22 Sumo Power Nissan GTR. He's got one of the most successful drivers in our league, Chris Ruffalo, starting next to him. What a driver to have starting next to you. As they're in good 2x2 formation. We're getting set for a start. We're going to go into free cam view so we can catch both. Oh, God. Very hard to control this camera. We're set for a start. We are away and racing, so GT500 gets the clean start. We're going to swap back to GT3. Bit of a gap between the front row and second row. We are away and racing. Ben McKenzie looking to make it 3 wide as they head up towards the bus stop chicane. So action already on in GT3. They're going to slot into single file for the bus stop chicane. No, they're not. Ben McKenzie goes around. He's taken Superstar off the track. So big disappointment for the debutant of Superstar. He manages to get back on track. McKenzie taking his time. I think he's readdressing that situation. I imagine that will be a post-race investigation. We'll keep an eye on the Discord for any notifications from our race controller. Meanwhile, out in front in GT500, Chris Ruffalo has wasted no time. He's taken the lead of this race. But Nick 22 and Alfonso are both going with him. We look out the back of the number 20 GTR. Well, I'm not seeing much there, just a massive rear wing. Oh, there we go. That's a better view. So we're looking at the back of Chris Ruffalo at the number 22 Sumo Power GTR. We head through the dipping chicane. There's a bit of a gap forming between these top three and Josh Hill and Vanderham, who are having their own little battle already. So Vanderham putting the pressure on this man right here, Josh Hill. Josh Hill had a great drive at Albert Park. Can he repeat it here at Highlands? And that magnificent looking number 38 Zent Sarumo Lexus. Well, he grabs a little bit too much curb, manages to keep it on track though. In fact, he's actually started to drop Vanderham. Meanwhile, back in GT3, Giro's starting to open up the gap to Ryan Ford, but Justin Rediex is actually well, the battle is on between Ford and ReadyX. ReadyX in the Porsche, of course. It's just within a second of the Corvette in front. So far, no notification from our race director for that Turn 1 incident. So it looks like it's play on. But here we go. Battle is on for second place. Alfonso, he's starting to pressure the back of Nick 22 as we ride on board with the Honda. So I wonder if Nick is just playing a bit of tyre conservation here. Because we've got to remember that long right-hander, that'll torture the front tyres. And all these cars, they are on the soft compound tyres. There are no medium, no hards. Got to make these soft tyres last. So the field is still remaining rather compressed, although Hill is just dropping off the back of Alfonso. Just see him flash through in the background. Oh, a bit of a touch there between Alfonso and Nick. Nick manages to keep it going. It's actually hurt Alfonso more than it's hurt Nick. In fact, Nick's still closing the gap to Rafalo. As Nick sets the fastest lap of the race, a 42.0. That is blistering pace already. So I wonder if Rafalo's just trying to... Maybe Rafalo's car is a little bit better at looking after the tyres than what Nick is, and he's just trying to goad Nick into making those tyres burn out. Or maybe it's the other way around. As Nick monsters the curbs in the fishhook chicane. So Rafalo's just seems to be strong in the first sector, so maybe running less downforce. That is the fastest section of this circuit. But it's really through here that 50 kilos of ballast is really going to hurt the number 20 in comparison to the number 22. Carting around an extra 50 kilos, like I said, it's almost another passenger. That will upset the handling of the car as well. There's a straight line speed. So we continue to watch Nick as he is closing the gap. It's in this sector that the 22 seems to be strongest. Right now, unfortunately for GT3, Giro is just starting to stretch the legs of the number 9 Mercedes. It's fastest lap of the race again for Nick 22 of 1:41.5 this time round. So Nick is still quick. Not sure if he is just trying to look after those tyres. Got a long way to go on these tyres. So we see Ben McKenzie is getting right out of the way of our GT500 field. Of course, that is one thing that really makes Super GT so exciting. We have this mixture of classes. We have the super fast, ballistic GT500s, and they're trying to try and pick their way through the GT3 class, which are by no means a slouch car. They are a thoroughbred race car as well, but they just don't have the sheer brute force of these GT500s. As the gap starts to close down again between Nick 22 and Rafalo. Alfonso is actually sticking with Nick as well. So you really see Rafalo is struggling to get the car pointed in through that right-hander. That really does allow Nick to close the gap. And we'll wait and see, where will Nick make the move, or will he be happy just to sit behind Rafalo for now and just watch and learn, pick up maybe where he is stronger, where he is weaker, and probe for a move as soon as he can. Oh, Rafalo grabs the front brake on the way into the hairpin. That gives Nick a run up to the final corner, but there's no real opportunity to make a passing manoeuvre going into the final turn. As we jump on board now with Nick 22. He's got Alfonso right on the back of him. Look at the Honda just flying up the inside of the 22, up to the bus stop. Brave move there from Alfonso. That relegates Nick 22 back to third position. Now, what can Alfonso do? He certainly seems to have the pace over the two Nissans around him. But is he asking too much of these tyres? This is a hard track on tyres. You see Rafalo hard on the power. That kicks the 20 sideways up to the banked left-hander. Just see GT3 cars in the background. Duro's coming up onto the back of Ben McKenzie. Now Alfonso. We're right on board with him. Oh, Rafalo makes a mistake. He drops a wheel onto the grass. Oh, we see Alfonso tries for a switchback. Can't get the power down. Just so hard with 700 brake horsepower. Oh, and a little touch there. That sends Rafalo around to a half spin. That might give Nick 22 a bit of an opportunity. Side by side going into the chicane. Nick backs out of it. So, geez, Alfonso really aggressive in these opening stages of this race. You might want to be careful, though. Rest assured, the stewards will be watching this race very, very closely. Just saw it. It was almost as if, the nose of the Honda is very long. Maybe Alfonso just misjudging where the front of the Honda actually was in relation to the back of the Nissan in front of him. But either way, there was contact between the 20 and the 64. However, both cars still keep going, so no harm, no foul. Positions remain unchanged. In fact, Alfonso and Rafalo just seem to start to be starting to pull away from the 22 of Nick. And we have our first DNF of the night, and that is Ben McKenzie. Obviously just not his night tonight. Can't get a handle on the Porsche around this circuit. But, certainly we hope to see Benny come back for the next round, which is, of course, if I jump into our Discord to have a look at the calendar. The next round is at Yas Marina, the Saudi Arabian circuit. And that is going to be a really good race to watch, I think, with these GT500s. The sheer speed difference between GT500 and GT3. Although it has to be said, GT500 not into lap traffic yet. We're 7 laps in. And no sign of the GT3s just yet. Superstar off the track. Where is that? That's coming up to the chicane. That's right in front of our GT500 leaders. Oh, he's just booked Rafalo. Alfonso just not sure which way to go. So, Superstar just playing a bit of a part there. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes sometimes. Hasn't affected the current standings of GT500. As I say that, Alfonso gets a good run out of the hairpin. Oh, big twitch from Rafalo. Alfonso's got the inside for the final corner and he makes the move. So the number 64 Honda takes the lead for the first time in this league. Now, what can Alfonso do? He has got serious pace. I don't think he even touched the brake for turn number 1, 2, and 3. In fact, I'm not even sure if the brake lights are working on that Honda, actually. That could be the case. But that Honda just seems to really take that long right-hander a lot better than the Nissans behind him. And although, as I say that, Rafalo closes right up onto the back of Alfonso. So the race is well and truly alive in GT500. Unfortunately, GT3, they've really just spread apart. Fortunately, seeing a almost 3-second gap between Ford and ReadyX. Unfortunately, I'd love to give them a little bit of airtime, but geez, this battle is just really enthralling at the moment. As now Nick is the next to line up onto the back of the number 20. Big twitch again from Rafalo. He's having a lot of trouble getting the power down on that Nissan GTR. Oh, big slide again. Rafalo, he's under pressure. He's just not looking his usual smooth self. We also just saw Hill. He's still in within 10 seconds. Oh, Vanderham's off the circuit. He's just dropped it off the track coming through the elongated bus stop. The race is still on at the front. The gap is going up between Rafalo and Alfonso. but certainly not enough right now. I wonder if Rafalo has gone into tyre conservation mode. He's done the hard yards early on. It's time to make these tyres last as long as possible. Got to remember that Rafalo also carrying that 50 kilos of success ballast. It's certainly a punishment, but it does. So far, it seems to be doing exactly what we are hoping it to do, which is prevent complete domination by one driver and one car. As now they're starting to come up on more GT3 traffic in Matt Southwell in the Bentley. So Southwell is a fair way off the back of Rediax. He might. I don't expect him to really argue the point too much with our GT500 leader. Alfonso, Southwell, bit of miscommunication between our leaders and Southwell, and that's going to give Rafalo a chance to get back onto terms with Alfonso. We're right on board now with Chris Rafalo. Just the drive of the Honda just seems to be a little bit better than the GTR at the moment. As we head through this fast, exhilarating flip-flop over the bridge. Oh, Rafalo grabs the front brake, just missed his braking marker by a couple of metres. So this race is far from finished. We're only on lap. Oh, we're just about to tick off the 10th lap, well, 9th lap, sorry, of this 40 lap race. As Nick 22 has actually gone into the pits. This is a really early stop for Nick. I wonder if he's running into tyre problems already. So this gives Josh Hill a bit of a chance at the front, well, on the podium at least. So it's a very early stop for Nick. It's a very long lap. It's going to be a very long race for him to try and make those tyres last. As we see, currently focusing on Josh Hill. Second appearance with the Go Race Promotions Simsports Leagues. He's running this magnificent looking Lexus. Very shiny, I have to say. And of course, once again, we have to send out a huge shout out to Shivaz Auto Art for this Super GT mod. It's just absolutely unreal. If you want to have a go with this mod, definitely head on to the Shivaz Auto Art website and download the mod and have a bit of fun. Constantly being worked on as well by the creators, so certainly going to get your time's worth with these cars. They are so much fun to drive. Such a huge challenge. They are just getting improved every single update, really. You're just starting to see that it looks like Josh Hill is really starting to improve his lap speed. He's certainly looking a lot more confident. He was able to carry more pace over the bridge that time round. So obviously just maybe a little unfamiliar with the circuit for now. We're down to the 144.9, so certainly keep an eye on Josh. But, we need to send a bit of love this guy's way. Steve Joe is doing a fantastic job as ever in GT3. Absolutely unstoppable in this Mercedes. He started the season in the Dodge Viper, but just could not get the car to work. And well, now here he is, back in the AMG, back in the familiar colours that we are so used to seeing him in. Of course, Steve Duro, organiser and owner of GT Club, which is, of course, Go Race Promotions' sister league, or brother league, whatever you prefer to call it. They're currently running 2 leagues at the moment, GT3, which is running tomorrow night, and DTM as well. In fact, while we're at it, let's send a little bit of love Oh, we actually have got a post-race investigation from lap 1 between cars 76 and 25, although I don't really expect that to go much further because, of course, Ben McKenzie is out of the race. Huge shame for Ben. Anyway, got sidetracked there. Let's get a link up for GT Club in the chat. So make sure you jump onto the GT Club Discord. Give them a bit of love. They are certainly another brand new league as well. Doing some great stuff out there with the DTM mod. And of course, running around with a lot of the same mods that we are running around with in GT3. But as you can see, Steve Giro very much at home in this AMG Mercedes. I haven't seen a lot of inroads made by Nick 22. Might just he's closing the gap ever so slightly on Josh Hill. Right on board with him. Just see what this car is actually doing for Nick. Certainly able to get the power down over that little rise from that banked turn. Two wheels it over the curb. Gets the car rotated nicely. So certainly this car is behaving. He's actually closing the gap to Josh Hill up ahead in the Zensarumo Lexus. As stay following Nick for now. We'll have to try and touch base with him and see what happened, why he made a early pit stop. It's very early. He might even be going for a 2-stop pit strategy, which that'll be a first, honestly. But with the high tyre wear of this circuit, certainly I think it might be a viable strategy. It's not something I considered, but well, you never know. So, oh, what's going on here? Duro has actually dropped off the circuit. He's dropped down to second position. He's lost a lot of time to Ryan Ford. I wonder if we jump on. Oh, he's got a lot of damage on this car. I wonder if he's planted the number 9 AMG into the fence. Oh, he's got a lot of damage on this AMG. I would suspect that he has planted the car into the fence, either at the final corner or at turn number 5. So, well, this was looking like a comfortable victory for Steve Duro. We have just given him the commentator's curse. And, well, he's going to have to make a tour of pit lane to try and get that damage sorted out before he loses too much more time, because ReadyX is coming. Oh, no! I've just seen up ahead Josh Hill. He's run wide trying to get around Ryan Ford. He was coming under pressure from Nick 22 in the number 22 Nissan. Now, of course, these guys in GT3, they are under no obligation to just get out of the way of the GT500 cars. They are encouraged to give space, but they are not under any obligation to drive off the circuit to let the GT500s through. And for the GT500s, they have to use common sense. They cannot just punt the GT3 drivers off the track. They have to get around cleanly. It is their responsibility to make the pass cleanly. So, oh, what was that? Was that ReadyX? Oh, I thought I saw the Porsche of ReadyX exit stage right. I wonder how the Porsche is actually going, because the Porsche isn't that gentle on its tyres. So, Certainly a car that is bigger on the snap oversteer. In fact, just a little reminder for those of you wondering. For Justin, no Punterino. Very handy that he's put that on the back of the car for the GT500 guys, I think. In all seriousness, the GT500 guys are showing a lot of maturity all season long when they're coming up on these slower drivers. So as we just swap back to Steve Duro, this number 9 AMG is hurting a lot. He's not able, the car is just not handling well. You can just see the big slides mid-corner. But Steve is not really showing any intention of going into pit lane to get it repaired. It looks like he's going to try and make the strategy work. So this will be very interesting to keep an eye on. Similarly, the battle between Alfonso and Rafalo, that has really settled down for now. As Alfonso has actually pulled out a 7.5 second gap over Chris Rafalo. So that is quite a sizable gap, particularly to Chris Rafalo. Oh, that Merc is really understeering through these longer corners. So giving Ryan a good chance to pull away. This will be a great result for the AM driver, Ryan Ford, in the Corvette. See a little bit of scarring on the Corvette. I'd say that's just from the car bottoming out through some of the corners, such as this corner here, the big banky boy. Or the slow banky boy, whatever you prefer to call it. He's just able to pull out a bit of a gap through this middle sector, but just seems, again, oh, Ford off the track. That gives Duro a chance. That'll give Duro all the encouragement he needs to try and get back onto racing terms with Ryan Ford. Oh, Ford running wide through the right-hander. Just see he's now starting to come under pressure. And we now also have Vanderham thrown into the mix as well in the HSV Honda. Oh, sorry, the Honda HSV. Better not get that mixed up. There's Vanderham making a move through the bridge. Duro does give him room. You see the flashlight, the headlights flashing like mad on the number 37 Honda as Ryan Ford does give the space to Vanderham. Now, has that cost Ford any real big time between himself and Duro? ReadyX is actually buying into this as well. So if anything happens to these two drivers, Duro and... Oh, there we go. Headlights are on. So I'm going to guess that Steve has actually got the stream on. And he's just noticed that, well, we're looking back at his car and on go the headlights. Oh, big slide for the Merc. Does he hang on to it? He does. So Duro now, he's in full pressure mode. We're right on board on top of the number 9 AMG. Crashes over the curbs. He's just starting to close back onto the tail of Ryan Ford. Can't forget the Porsche of Justin ReadyX, the number 144. He's staying in touch with our leaders now, so we thought that ReadyX was starting to lose, maybe just didn't have the car under him in the earlier stages of this race, but he is now right onto the back of Steve Duro. Now, ReadyX was quite happy with his performance at round number 1 in Fuji Speedway. Said that he was very happy to finish within 20 seconds of Steve Duro, considering his last effort, or the effort before that, was, well, 1 lap between himself and Steve Duro. So ReadyX starting to really come alive as a sim racer, has to be said. Head over the bridge one more time. Headlights ablaze on the heavily damaged AMG of Steve Duro. And looks like just Duro is really desperate to try and stick to his strategy because he's not heading into the pit lane at all. Unfortunately, I've just noticed a bit of an error. We haven't updated the pit window. So all these drivers will have to make their pit stop soon. So, well, we've made it blue and we haven't updated that pit window. So, well, let's jump on board with ReadyX now. He is looking racy on the back of Duro's AMG. This is helping Ryan Ford in the Corvette just pull away. As we now see ReadyX, he's trying to get the drive up towards the bank boy. Can't quite get it done just yet, but I think given the damage on the number 9, you'd have to assume that this passing manoeuvre will be done very, very soon. As we can see, ReadyX is just lining up. Will he go for the dive bomb? Not this time. Oh, he gets a bit of a touch up to Duro. He backs off immediately. So the irony there of ReadyX having no Punterino on the back of his car, and he gives a bit of a Punterino to Steve Duro. It goes for the drive again. The Porsche's really good off the corners. All the weight over the rear tyres. Just gets a little bit more traction than the front engine cars. But that little pump there may have just taken a little bit of confidence out of ReadyX. So he's just backed off a little bit. He's lost a lot of time. Imagine that Justin's got onto the Discord immediately and apologised to Steve. So, oh, we just saw one driver. Oh no, it's Superstar. He's having... Oh, what a debut for Superstar in the BMW. Of course, I believe more familiar with iRacing. But nonetheless, welcome to the Assetto Corsa Leagues. Oh, might want to slap up the traction control a little bit, I think. So we'll stick with Superstar for now. As he rounds the elongated bus stop. He's going to be put another lap down by put another lap down by Vanderham in the Honda just behind. Now, this will be good. We're looking at the back of the BMW. Here comes the Honda of Vanderham. Watch how he closes up under brakes. Moves, and we just see that Superstar just sidesteps the Honda on the way up to this tight hairpin. He drops a wheel off immediately as well. It's actually very deep gravel there. It really slows the car up. So far, this man here, Alfonso, has been the class act tonight. This will do his championship wonders. Close up 5 points on Chris Ruffalo after this race. Well, Nick 22, he is really closing the gap on Rafalo. See that the gap is coming down to just under 7 seconds, sorry. Geez, Alfonso, sorry, just absolutely driving the wheels off this Honda. Now they're coming up to the battle between, well, now he's coming up to the battle between Duro and ReadyX. Ford has just sort of skipped away slightly. Now, will ReadyX be able to use the interference from Alfonso's GT500 to get around the number 9 AMG? Head over the bridge again. Should be able to hold off Alfonso until this hairpin at least. In fact, well, ReadyX doing the polite thing, just giving some space to our race leader. Duro, he's going to try and use this to his advantage. This is holding up Alfonso a little bit. Once again, this is the best part of Super GT, the ebb and flow as the faster cars close in on the slower GT3s. And of course it affects both classes too. Oh, Duro very wide. I think the front tyres are gone on that AMG. Well, I think he is just desperately trying to make half race distance. Try and get those tyres across the line for the final stint. This battle is certainly coming alive. Oh, ReadyX a big slide as they make their way through to the elongated bus stop. Duro again runs wide. This might give ReadyX a chance if he can get the drive out of the corner. But I do suspect that Duro will track sacrifice into the hairpin. Indeed he does. ReadyX going for the better drive. Can he get the drive? Can he get up beside the AMG? No, he can't. So this will be absolutely frustrating ReadyX. You can see that Ford is just starting to pull away up ahead. He knows he's got the pace. Oh, big slide again from Duro. Duro's got some big problems with this AMG. And he can't get it turned. Here goes ReadyX. He's going to try and get the drive. He can't get it done this time by. The torque of the Mercedes just helping Duro out a little bit here. But the Porsche's ability to rotate is helping ReadyX get this drive out of the corners. Slows down a little bit too much for the bus stop, I think. Oh, both Duro and ReadyX run wide. Just see how much these guys are struggling with that front left tyre. Rafalo's lost second position to Nick 22. So Nick 22, I think he must be going for a two-stop strategy. So he came in very early. He came in at the end of lap 10. But now he's coming up onto the back of the ReadyX Duro battle. You can see the scars up the left-hand side of the Mercedes. Moving around. He's not doing anything untowards. He's just putting the AMG in all the right positions. See there, track sacrifices. He'll park it on the apex. Oh, he runs a little bit wide this time. This might give ReadyX a chance. And this will be the worst thing possible for Nick 22. Last thing he wants is two battling GT3s. So now he makes his way past ReadyX. But now he's got to be a bit patient again. He's losing time to Alfonso now. Fortunately, Alfonso has already cleared these guys. Matt Southwell's into pit lane. He's going to get serviced. Oh, Nick is just trying to be as patient as he can. Rafalo's going to get a chance to get around him or get onto terms with him. Or he tries to squeeze Duro. This might help ReadyX. not quite so. And into the pits comes Steve Giro. We've reached half race distance. Giro's had enough. He wants to get this AMG fixed up so he can go on full attack again. Get fresh tyres on it, get a fresh dose of fuel into it, and then go from there. See where he ends up. If he can get in front of this man here, the current leader of GT3. What that does do is that it releases Justin Rediex. We'll keep an eye on the gap between the 31 and the 144. Right now, another battle. The battle's still on between Rafalo and Nick 22. Although Nick 22, he has to be going for a two-stop strategy. That's all I can think of. You can see, Rediex has ripped 2 seconds in that last sector out of Ford. So the pace of Rediex is certainly evident. Oh, geez, Rafalo is really struggling on tyres. I can only imagine how bad the tyres are on this car here, the number 64 of Alfonso. Oh, he's really struggling to get it to point in, actually. Well, we see... No, he's going to go around one more time. 8 laps left in this window. Can he make this last? As Alfonso does another lap. Wait and see. Does Rafalo come in? Rafalo is into pit lane now. So Rafalo's had enough. He's sick of the tyres. Wants to get on something fresh. Ryan Ford's into pit lane. Will Justin Rediex? Yes, Rediex responds. So this is all in response to Steve Giro's pit. Of course, there will be a massive undercut here for these drivers. Southwell was also one of the first to pit in GT3. So he's just trying to put a lap on Superstar. Superstar's he's trying his best to get out of the way. But maybe a bit of too much caution being shown by both these drivers. You can see fit half a country between Southwell and Superstar. Big slide again for our championship leader. A lot of damage on the Bentley as well. Wonder if Southwell has found the wall. So this will be a race to forget, I think, for Matt Southwell. But once again, he only got a handful of laps in. Only a handful of laps in for practice. So realistically, to sit in 4th position, he'll be satisfied with that at least. Now, Giro has been through pit lane. He's been cycled through. He's had the damage repaired on the AMG, and that is that's already looking a lot more stable. Looking a lot more better too without a cracked windscreen. We can see now that Ford is actually able to just start edging away ever so slightly between himself and Rediex. That gap is just starting to go up. So perhaps the Porsche not really liking new tyres, not really liking heavy fuel load. So we'll definitely keep an eye on how the Porsche behaves at the end of the next few laps. Although actually, something to remember, no tyre warmers, so these guys are on absolutely stone cold tyres. So wait and see where Alfonso is. Alfonso is still out there lapping. Now, surely he will be thinking about coming into pit lane soonish. So the undercut is going to be a huge issue between himself and the likes of Chris Rafalo. Now it takes a little bit longer than 20 seconds to cycle through pit lane. And Rafalo is currently just 31 seconds behind Alfonso. Then you've got to deal with a lap of stone cold tyres. So Alfonso, no, he's going to go around again. as we have Vanderham now into pit lane. We continue to watch our leader, Alfonso. Alfonso has been driving really well over the last couple of events that we have seen him in. Really doing well. Really did well in the AK Racing V8 British Touring Car Championship. He's having a bit of an up and down time in their V8 Supercar Championship, but well, he's certainly enjoying these GT cars, that's for sure. A bit of a struggle at Albert Park, having numerous uncharacteristic spins. Is now Nick 22 into the pits again, so the two-stop strategy. I wonder if this will work for Nick. Definitely keep an eye on him. Where is Raffalo? There is Raffalo. He's not going to be on warm tyres though. So we'll see the difference between cold and warm tyres. Into the fence goes Raffalo. So Raffalo got well wide into the marbles. I wonder if that's done much damage to this GTR. Doesn't look like as if there's any damage. So he may have gotten away with that. So he goes up the inside of Superstar. In fact, they're on the back of Matt Southwell as well. And Ryan Ford is still pulling away from oh, jeez, Raffalo chopped the nose off of Southwell. That could have ended in tears. But, well, Raffalo, now he's on the same, almost the same, same condition tyres as Nick 22. So we'll wait and see what happens. And Alfonso has actually finally made it into pit lane. So we'll wait and see if this long strategy has paid off for him. A bit sluggish away. Might help Nick and Raffalo. Oh, here comes a dive. Oh, I thought that was a send there from Raffalo. So Raffalo piling on the pressure. Oh, look at the speed difference between the 20 and the 22. I'm not sure if that's just slipstream. Here we go up to the bus stop. Raffalo's pulled out. He's made the move stick. So Raffalo just elevates himself up into second position. Now, what does Nick do? Is he going to work with Raffalo and try and work their way back onto the tail of the number 64 Honda, or does he fight back immediately? Also to keep an eye on Steve Joe. He's closing the gap ever so slightly to Justin Rediex. So the battle for GT3 is not over by a long shot. Right now, this is the closest battle on track. Battle between Nick and Chris Raffalo. Raffalo in the number 20 Pennzoil GTR. So they make their way towards the final hairpin. Jump back on board with Nick. So it gives chase to Raffalo. Tyres are now up to pressure on the number 22. He's absolutely giving it his all. He's just able to get that car rotated ever just a little bit nicer than what Raffalo is through this long right-hander. It's on slightly younger tyres as well. Ruffalo wide. That doesn't give Nick an opportunity, though. Just not enough room on the right-hand side. So Nick erred on the side of caution. You see a dive bomb? No. Thought about it. So who gets the better drive out of the hairpin now? Nick looks up the inside. He thinks better of it. Two Nissans running 2 and 3 on the leaderboard. This is helping Alfonso, actually. Alfonso has almost got that gap up to 20 seconds again. It's certainly going to be a tough race for Ruffalo to finish in second, as Alfonso sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:40.924. Great lap from Alfonso. So we continue to watch this battle between Nick and Ruffalo. So Sumo Power, not really sure what Sumo Power is. I'm just going to do a quick little Google search. I have a feeling it's a now defunct company. I don't think this is correct. Sumo Power, an energy provider. Don't think that's correct. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So we found it. It is a performance garage. There you go. More you know. Who says you don't learn anything new on Twitter? Twitch. Sorry. This battle is continuing on between the two GTRs. Ruffalo's still struggling to get the power down in the number 20. Identical time. Look at the times there. Nick and Ruffalo both doing 44 flats. You just see that Nick doesn't seem to be as aggressive through the bus stop chicane as what Ruffalo is. It's costing him a little bit of time, but then he's able to make it up immediately through that super long right-hander. Thinks about the move into the fishhook chicane. So see Ruffalo now. He seems to be able to get the drive down out of the fishhook. So Nick just not able to capitalise on another uncharacteristic error by Chris Ruffalo. Ruffalo has really been getting beaten up this race. It's really proving to be a tough race for him. He's currently just racing for survival at the moment as we look at the back of the Pennzoil GTR at the Sumo Power 22. Stay on board with this battle. I'm just going to let you at home enjoy the sound. Oh, so now... Oh, look at that. Oh, ReadyX. Huge moment for ReadyX. Certainly didn't have to do that because that has allowed Duro right onto the back of the number 144. I just actually wonder if ReadyX's Porsche has got a bit of damage. So he's certainly not driving as confidently as what he was in the first half of this race. As it's currently dropping time hand over fist. Of course, that little jump there, trying to get out of the way of the GT500s, probably did not help him. But, Ford has just driven away. He's over 10 seconds ahead of ReadyX and Duro. Duro now right onto the back of the number 144. Again, it looks like a bit of damage on the AMG, so not really sure what has happened with the AMG of Duro. I wonder if he's found the wall again on, well, found the wall on pit straight. Doesn't seem to have affected the handling of the car though, so it does seem to be okay. Oh, no, we got it changed. Got it changed for second position. Looks like Nick may have just been able to capitalise on some lap traffic between himself and Rafalo. Maybe just the tyres are starting to go on the number 20 already. So 24 seconds between himself and Alfonso. I do think that this race, we can almost call it a guaranteed win for Alfonso. Oh, Rafalo into the fence. So Rafalo's struggling for front end grip. The ballast certainly has not helped the number 20. And as it's now, Rafalo way off the track. What's going on here? Oh, he's got damage. He must have damage now. And those... Oh, geez. Thought that was a hardware failure. Maybe just went in too hard into the chicane, just had to straight line it and couldn't pull the car up. Anyway, he's back up to speed again. One driver who's really losing time at the moment is Steve Duro. I wonder if he's just raised the white flag. And he's just backing off now. Although, as I say that, ReadyX has actually started to close the gap down on Ryan Ford. So I wonder if we're in this sweet spot where the Corvette has just hurts its tyres a little bit too much, and he just starts to go backwards, because that's another half second in the last few sectors that ReadyX has actually torn out of the number 31 Corvette. Oh, actually, what's going on there? No, I thought the rear Venturi was loose. I thought that would have been amazing. Didn't think Assetto Corsa was that detailed with damage. Just an optical illusion. As we continue to monitor the gap between ReadyX and Ford, it's now under 8 seconds again. We're just almost up to 10 laps left to go in this 175-kilometre race. So there is still plenty of time for ReadyX to close the gap. Quickly have a look at ReadyX. definitely looking a lot more confident now. Now that the fuel load has just burnt off a little bit and the tyres just come up to pressure, he just looks to be able to put the car exactly where he wants it to, get the power down, get the traction, fire off the corner and down the main straight. So we'll definitely keep a bit of an eye on this, on the gap between ReadyX and Ford. But, well, if you're sitting at home, you're wondering what you need to do to get involved. All you have to do is join our Discord. We're just setting up another link. So there is our link right there. We've got more events coming up. Of course, we have the remaining rounds of the Super GT League. The next round is at Yas Marina, and that is happening in, I'd say, about 2 weeks' time. It's taking place on the 12th of November. And then between the 12th of November and the 26th of November is our first event of TCX 300. Very ambitious event where we are taking GT3, V8 supercars and TCR, putting them on the track at the same time, making them race for 300 Ks in what is really going to be the ultimate gathering of touring cars on track. So make sure you join our Discord, and that way you can be a part of that action. So while we are waiting, let's send a big shout out to Quick Draw, Brendo and Superstar for joining the Discord as well. Hope you guys are looking forward to having a bit of fun with us. Join some racing, have a good time, meet some new friends, and basically just go racing. Also, a bit of a shout out to the new members of GT Club. So if I can find where I got up to last time, I believe it is Gardel 86, Bailey I'm Hoff 71, and Kezakul. Thank you very much for supporting our sister league, which is of course GT Club. So shout out to those guys as well. If you haven't hit follow already on that Twitch banner just down below and hit that little bell icon, why haven't you? We obviously have got a lot more coming up. This Sunday we are broadcasting the next round of the AK Racing. Just double check I've got the right series on. And it is the 1st of November. So as this Sunday we are doing the next round of the AK Racing Sprint Series on Assetto Corsa Competizione. So make sure you hit the follow button, make sure you hit the notification bell. So you're not going to want to miss that. It was absolutely entertaining racing last time out at Zolder. So be a part of it. Meanwhile, this man certainly already a part of it. That's Alfonso. Ooh, Southwell just stopping for some reason. He's actually returned to the pit lane. And Vanderham's also in pit lane. This looks like an unscheduled stop for Vanderham. So I'd say that might be both those drivers parking their cars, which would be a huge disappointment for Southwell after taking a really good early lead in the championship. We continue to watch Alfonso in the Honda. He's just been on maximum attack all race long. This will be a well-deserved win for Alfonso if he can keep it on track for the next handful of laps. It's coming up onto the back of Duro and the Lexus of Joshua Hill. So Josh Hill, he's had a very, very, very clean race so far. Not a mark on the Zent Sarumo Lexus. Very cautious, not crashing over the curbs, not doing anything untoward. So this has been a really good battle, a really good drive from Hill. He'll take another 4th position as well, which will be hugely beneficial for his championship hopes. Something I've actually missed is the gap between Ford and ReadyX has absolutely tumbled down. It's gone from 9 seconds down to 5 seconds. So I wonder if ReadyX is just starting to get the hammer down, or if Ford is starting to make a few little mistakes. But, Ryan Ford, he's definitely been putting in some great fights. Oh, great drive tonight. And also, we got a battle all of a sudden, Southwell. We saw him teleport back to the pits. He is now right in the clutches of Superstar Q76. We're going to jump on board with Superstar now as he gives chase to the Bentley. Oh, he understeers a little bit wide. Gets it back under control. Now we see the GT500 Lexus of Josh Hill loom up in the mirror there. We've still got plenty of slots available for our GT500 League. We've got a maximum of 24 spaces in our Super GT League. And of course we've also got plenty of spaces available in our TCX event. Number 1 at Circuit Algarve. Of course, Circuit Algarve hosted the Formula 1 recently. Really fun track, and it's going to be a huge challenge for our drivers in TCX 300. As Superstar just goes straight ahead, not trying to interfere with anyone else's race. Great polite driving from Superstar. We'll have a quick look at the event grid for TCX 300 number 1. We have got a total of 9 drivers entered. If we break down the classes, we have 2 drivers in V8 supercars, being Zekken 97 and Kaiser. Zekken running the Ford Mustang and Kaiser running the Commodore ZB. GT3, we've got Liam TW12 in a Porsche 911 GT3R. We then have actually myself in the Nissan GTR GT3. Matt Southwell currently on track in a Bentley Continental, and Thomas Lauder signed up with a Lamborghini Huracan. And then TCR, we have Superstar Q76 in a Hyundai i30N. And then to be confirmed entry of Ben McKenzie. And he's trying to decide between the Porsche 911 or the V8 supercar for that event. So if you want to get involved, make sure you hit the Discord link in the chat. And join in with the racing. It's certainly a good community. Everyone has a lot of fun, and we all just like to get on with the one thing that we enjoy, which is racing. So right now, the gap between ReadyX and Ford is starting to come down. ReadyX was a whole 2 seconds faster that lap over Ryan Ford, although ReadyX still not confident with that bus stop chicane. This is going to be a huge upset in GT3. Steve Duro is struggling. He's languishing down in 3rd position. He'll take home 16 points. It'll get him closer to Matt Southwell. But certainly the most consistent driver so far is Justin ReadyX, currently 2nd in the championship. If he can latch on to the back of Ryan Ford and just start to put the pressure on, he might be able to just claw back a couple more points on Matt Southwell. So we're on lap 40 of 45. Alfonso still leads. He's got a massive margin of 27 seconds over Nick 22. And then Chris Ruffalo really languishing down. He's been absolutely hurt by the 50 kilos of ballast. So this is certainly going to be a round that Ruffalo will really want to leave behind. Already actually starting to make a few mistakes now, so maybe we're just getting a little bit too excited. This man here still leading the race in the Corvette. It's going to be a huge, giant killing effort for the AM driver. So we're slowly ticking down the laps. And this man here continues on his way. He's about to put a lap down on Joshua Hill. This has just been absolutely flawless drive for Alfonso. A perfect way to bounce back after what was a struggle of a race at Albert Park. Alfonso certainly walked away fairly annoyed after several spins. I believe he didn't even finish on the podium at Albert Park. But, certainly a perfect way to bounce back by taking out a win. Will mean 25 kilos of ballast added to the number 64 Honda. If he keeps up this fine form that he finds himself in, should see that Ruffalo will come under all sorts of pressure as the year goes on. Or as the season goes on, really. Still very early in the season, not even at the halfway point, of course. Yas Mariner will be the halfway point in the season. We'll still have 3 more rounds after the next round. And the tracks that we are visiting as well, we can bring that up. We've got Yas Mariner next, Paul Ricard, Sportsland Sugo, and then Suzuka rounding out the season. And certainly we're quite happy with how this league is turning out. Certainly some very good drivers making their names known in this league. Farlow just continues. Oh, sorry, Alfonso, sorry. He's just getting a little bit confused. It is Alfonso currently leading the race ahead of Nick 22. And certainly a good way to, as we said, bounce back from Albert Park. Nick 22 is actually starting to lap a little bit quicker than Alfonso, although I'd say too little too late. 28 seconds and only 2 laps remaining for our race leader, Alfonso. Unfortunately, I do believe that, that Nick is going to have to settle for second. Chris Rafalo, he's struggling, absolutely languishing down in third position. I'd say he may have picked up some damage after some contact with the wall, and he hits the wall again, just for good measure. Maybe it's straighten the car up a little bit. Never know. He two wheels it through the bus stop chicane, getting a little bit balked by Superstar, but nothing untowards. Superstar letting him go through relatively unaffected. Farlow just